Oh, hello. Hi, how are you?
How's that? Just fine. Thank you.
Oh, great. I'm Allie, CEO of Give Up My Timeshare, and just wanted to thank you, of course, for taking the time today and just had a few questions for you about the
Sure.
process and your
Sure.
experience with us.
Okay, sounds great.
Yeah, so first of all, why did you want out of your timeshare?
Well, a little bit of a story there, I guess. My wife and I purchased a timeshare about 20 years ago. Had two daughters that were about 10, 12 years old, and um, we had an opportunity to purchase a timeshare. And really, for several years, it provided us an opportunity to almost force us to take a family vacation every year. Timeshare was in the RCI network, and we probably visited places that we normally wouldn't have thought of or considered if we didn't have a timeshare. But that kind of ran its course. Kids grow up, and the two daughters are married and have kids, their own families, and then a couple of years ago, my wife unfortunately passed away, and I just felt it was time to probably move on and try to move on from the timeshare. There's probably a little bit too many memories there, and just no longer using it as had originally intended.
Sure. Okay. That makes sense for sure. Sorry for your loss also.
Oh, thank you.
So then, so you knew you wanted to get out of it, and then how did you find Give Up My Timeshare?
Well, actually, I had looked at other opportunities, other types of companies that would purchase, or I should say, would get me out of the timeshare. But I really didn't feel comfortable with the approach they took. Pay all your money up front. The catchphrase that they all used was 100% guarantee, money
Right.
back guarantee. But what I found out, what that meant was it could take 2 to 3 years for them to get me out of the timeshare. And I was responsible for all of the maintenance fees and any other charges all during that time. And then even at the end of those 2, 3 years, um, if for some reason they were not able to get me out of the timeshare, the 100% money back guarantee was less any legal fees that they
Ah,
had incurred afterwards, and I had no control over that. I said, well, that's just throwing money down an open pit. I said, there's no way I'm going to do that. But I saw an article regarding your company, GiveUpMyTimeshare.com is what I jumped on the site,
okay.
and I was really intrigued by the approach that was being taken because this was different. I
Yes.
did research. I had an opportunity to meet with Diane, and I was amazed at how straightforward it was. There was no money asked for up front.
Mhm.
It was upon basically a transfer of ownership
Yeah.
from myself to you, and it was a great experience. That's all I can share with you. At every step that was laid out initially, uh, you met it, or exceeded it as far as in the time that it was scheduled to be done. And literally in 6 weeks from my first conversation till the end, I am timeshare free.
Yeah.
And it's been, like I said, just a great experience in being able to kind of finalize that portion of my past, I guess. So.
Yeah. Well, yes, congratulations. And I think you touched on something so important that we really set out to create, which was a risk-free option. And, it sounds like you've done your research. We've certainly done ours, and I'm not aware of any other program out there that has no money up front and has a process like ours where there isn't a risk to the client. So appreciate you recognizing that and going for it with us. Any other advice for people that are, wanting out of their timeshare?
Well, I never can speak for every person that is trying to get out of their timeshare. Everyone has their own story. They have their own experiences, I guess. And there's always that saying that people use, and if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Well, I probably adhered to that early on also, but I did my research, and what I found is this has been as I said, for every step of the way, you met or exceeded my expectations and by being able to get out from underneath the timeshare that I was just not part of my future needs anymore. It was as painless and as easier than I could have imagined. And the key part was there's no money up front. It is the money exchanges once the ownership transfers, and so there was no unknown after I paid for it. It was over, and like I said, it all happened in a matter of 6 weeks, and I couldn't have imagined it was as easy as it was, but your company and Diane really made it so, and I really appreciated the help in getting out from underneath that responsibility.